he felt some muscle discomfort towards the latter part of his outing. It's more on the top of his arm, and we don't believe related to anything related to his surgery or anything like that. So, again, he felt some soreness on top. It's something that I wouldn't say he's been dealing with, but overall the general arm fatigue that he has dealt with, could potentially be related to it. But the positive part of this is that it's not on the medial side. It's not on the side where you would normally be very concerned about. One way or the other, he is going to need some time off. I can't really speak to the specifics of it right now. We're going to get him an MRI today because we would do that anytime a guy exits with any sort of arm issue like this. So we'll see. I went upstairs during the game, checked on him. He actually seemed in good spirits. A lot of the time you can kind of get a read on how a guy is doing or the injury itself by just how he is. He actually seemed okay. Disappointed, but okay.
Could you tell him that, could you tell that he not have his good stuff? Could you tell from the dugout that it wasn't the same?
Well, it wasn't one of his best starts,
Yeah.
that we know. We didn't exactly play good baseball behind him either, so it's hard to tell, especially the first half of his start, just how that would have went if we, made the plays, held runners to the bases they should be at, and things like that. So it was far from a crisp game on our end, and he wasn't, as crisp as he wants to be either. The stuff itself, when the game started, it was fine. There was nothing to note one way or the other on the actual stuff. So there were no flags of any kind. He was working through his start, but everything that happened in that start went the wrong way for him. So even when he did make good pitches, we didn't get through innings, and he kind of wore the brunt of it. He makes the play where he has to dive after the ball. That's not a very comfortable play you want to see your starting pitcher having to try to make. Gut up. We think he just had the wind knocked out of him on that play. Did he feel anything on that play related to the eventual injury? I don't know. I had heard of nothing that connected the two. So overall, it was a difficult day. And then at the end of the outing is when he said he felt it.
Did he have anything to do with his back at all? It looked like he grabbed.
That's what I thought based on the way he was kind of stretching. But no, what he said through Dye was that it was more his kind of his stomach, and Nick was out there with me, and we interpreted it as he kind of just got the wind knocked out of him, the way he fell, the way he dove.
Do you know who would replace him in the rotation?
Not at this moment. We have some things that are in line that we're setting up as we speak, so we're prepared. But nothing to announce at this moment. We'll probably have more information soon, though.
You've been able to do a proper just evaluation of how Kenta has looked coming off the surgery based on all the little things that have happened over the last 3 turns through for him?
Yeah, so there's not really one major thing to look at and be, to this point, to be concerned about. He's actually thrown the ball in a very similar fashion to the way he was throwing it pre-surgery, not that far off. So he does take care of himself very well. He generally bounces back well. There's a lot of things he does well, but the outings themselves all feel like there's been some hiccups. Some of them are not his fault at all, but there's been things that have come up in every outing that he's had to deal with. And you want to see a guy coming back from surgery and getting reintroduced to the big leagues after a lot of time off. You want some things to go their way too, and it feels like not a lot of things have gone his way so far. But now that we're at this point, this is definitely going to be some type of reset for him, so he can get his arm feeling better first and foremost. That's going to be the objective here, and we're going to be thorough.
Did he first? Go ahead.
Did he say after the fact that was something that had been bothering him from the beginning, or was that something he just felt in the 4th inning?
He said he felt it later on in the outing. Again, he threw the ball fine. The results were not good, but there are outings where you go out there and you may see a pitcher who looks off. He didn't look off. He looked like he was fine and had a good chance to get a bunch of outs in today's game and pitch into the game. We had him on tap to go out there and probably throw, he could throw 85 pitches or 90 pitches in today's game, and I saw no reason early on why he wouldn't do that one way or the other.
Given what you know about Bailey Ober and Louis Varland, and Lopez obviously has been what you thought, maybe then some, and Joe Ryan, is this the best you've ever felt about depth in your starting pitching since you've been here?
Well, I think we have real depth. We have major league pitchers that we can turn to whenever we need them. That does help. When you start dipping into that depth and you start using those guys, then you start looking around and go, what is your next depth in case you need more of it? That's natural. That's what you have to do. So you're ready when something comes up, and things always come up. So you kind of go in with that mindset. But we have good guys that we can turn to that have already pitched pretty well for us in the big leagues this year, and guys that we have a lot of confidence in. So at least we know that.
What can a day like this do for Jose after a slow start to the season?
Yep, this is definitely the type of day we were looking to see from him. And again, I think the types of at-bats that he's had over the last week were signaling positive things for Jose. And he was making some better decisions. He was, again, using the whole field. He was doing the things that we want to see that eventually lead to bigger swings and getting the ball out front a little bit. So he's felt fine. He hasn't shied away from anything despite the start that he's had. He did this a little bit last year and then caught fire for us. So anything's possible with him. He's a talented hitter, and I think he's just finding himself this year.